Unos.
All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Above and Beyond the Accessibility and Inclusion Podcast, live for January 23rd, 2023.
2023! Woohoo!
Maddie, it's been a day. As always, I am joined by Maddie Dever. Maddie, how are you?
My feet are cold. And I just figured out why about 5 minutes ago. It turns out that my daughter and her roommate that live here last night decided to smoke me out by burning some things on the stove, but not wanting to put the fan on because it's too noisy. But like, I'm breathing in smoke, and so they opened the window last night to clear the smoke, and I realized 5 minutes ago that the window is still open, and my feet are very cold. So that's how I have it. That's my weather forecast of the week.
You know, Maddie, you always deliver the weather in such fascinating ways. So kudos to you, my friend. Oh my
No problem.
gosh.
Imagine me as an
So,
actual weather. I'm actually. Let's try this again. Imagine me as an actual weather person, weather forecaster.
well, you certainly got the voice for it, my friend.
Well, yeah, I've been told that many times. So I'm using it for this purpose here.
Yeah,
So,
you know what?
How has
And
things been?
we are kicking butt and taking names, Maddie. You know, it's been one heck of a weekend. We had an incredible podcast that will be up in a little while. We interviewed Candice Kirkbride from Sudbury, Ontario, and what an incredible person she is. I mean, you know, we met through social media, and social media really has given opportunities for people with like-minded uh, advocacy to really kind of have that connection. And after meeting her, she had me on her podcast. I wanted to return the favor and have you meet her, Maddie, and have her on
Yeah,
our podcast.
I think the feeling we had after it was just like, whoa! It was more than good. It just was a really good feeling that we left that podcast with. So I'm looking forward to getting it up on all our podcast places in the next few weeks. Yeah. So I saw on social media today some links that you had to an interview you had done with the former Lieutenant Governor General David Onley, who you interviewed before. How was that experience? What was it like to meet him?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was kind of just doing something in the back channel there, Maddie. Thank you
I was
for
setting you
covering
up
me.
for.
I know you did, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
David Onley, I've said this before on this platform. I've had the opportunity to meet him a few times, and just to recall the memories of the man that he has made for so many others, man or woman that he's made for so many others, like just with his work and his advocacy, that he truly is a pioneer and a leader for accessibility. And in his position as lieutenant governor from 2007 to 2014, it was just to see the headway that he made. Notwithstanding the fact that there's still a lot more work to be done, but he really solidified, people with disabilities as more than just people here to exist, but here to make an impact. Just like you and I are doing, Maddie, and so many people are doing. I mean, Candice last week, just getting to know her as well as I have over the last little while. I think for me to leave that interview that we did with Candice, I probably would say it was like more of a euphoric state for me. Just listening to her story and how it's helped her evolve into the woman that she is. Like I couldn't put into words. Like, I mean, we have stories that are that have helped shape and mold us as to who we are as human beings. But that's just one of those stories that I can't wait for you to listen to. But yeah, and then sorry, Maddie, and then going back to David Onley, um, former Lieutenant Governor David Onley, like just wow, it's trailblazing, pioneering and leading, and leaving his footprint or wheel mark, so to speak, in a semblance of the fact that he's laid the groundwork down, and there's people like you, people like me, that need to take the reins to follow on in the work that he's set the foundation for. So I'm truly grateful to have met him, and to last year, him being so gracious with his time and giving us the time to spend with him on Cable 14, and be able to interview him as part of another TV show on that station called the Hamilton Network. I was able to do monthly segments on accessibility and monthly interviews, and David was one of the interviews that I had the opportunity to do, and it's available now on my platforms and on Cable 14. And I know, Maddie, you shared it as well, so thank you for that as well. So it's available for you guys to view, listen, and provide your feedback. I value all the comments, feedback, positive and negative, and things that we can always do better, because we're always striving to be better people for ourselves and for others. So if there's something you want to hear, see, listen, just let us know, and we'll do our best to make it happen.
It's late.
And
we're doing this at 6:00 at night. Oh,
it's
I'm gonna try not to yawn. I'm really trying not to yawn. I've been on Zoom all day long. So one of the things that I thought about this weekend is talking more about it. I think on Friday in Ontario we celebrated Lincoln Alexander Day, and he's a former Lieutenant Governor General as well, and I believe he's the first Black Lieutenant Governor. And I was thinking, you know what, we really need to commemorate David Onley and all of the work that he did in advocating for people with disabilities and accessibility. And why not have a day for him that we remember him and his legacy, but we work on living out his legacy today as an ongoing thing. And I was thinking, I think September 7th is the when he first September 7th, I forget the year, is when he first
September 5th.
September 5th. And I had this written down that I'm not looking at it, so I'm just going by memory right now, which is usually a bad thing. But yeah, I think we need to be. We are in a world that needs to be reminded of the legacy of those that have come before us, so that we continue to work on that legacy. Because right now, you and me, Anthony, we are part of that legacy. We're in the shadow of the work that he's done, and we're continuing it on. And so are all the other people who are advocates and allies. And we commemorate days for different things. And since we already commemorate Lincoln Alexander, I can't think of another person who's worthy of our consideration, so that we remember him and the legacy of his work with disability and accessibility. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. When we had this conversation offline, Maddie, it brought a sparkle to my eyes, and it really just it was something that I'm fully on board with that, and I'm with you, and I hope that people who are listening to us and hearing us right now, watching us right now, that will get on board with us. Send us a Facebook message, a tweet. Oh, and you had that ready. Of course you had that ready. Send us a message on Facebook. Our Twitter handles are below at Matt J. Dever, at Anthony _Frazina, at Above and Beyond Pod. on Facebook at Above and Beyond the Podcast at gmail.com. I know I'm going to reread them at the end of the live, but I wanted just to get those out right now again so that if people want to support us in this venture to get David Onley Day, September the 5th, I think it would be great for the disabled community to have a day that recognizes trailblazing movements for disability and disability inclusion. Because we have International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and while that's a day of celebration and a day of salutation for disability inclusion, I think David Onley Day on September the 5th will help trailblaze mindsets and movements toward not only having the conversation, but initiating and taking action toward accessibility and toward inclusion. And that being in and of itself is game changing, to say the very least. Oh,
Yeah,
Maddie's up to something. He's got something. Maddie's up to something, ladies and gentlemen. We know he's about to post a bit.
Yes, in the platform that we use, we have the ability to put these banners in the bottom third of the screen. And I just found out that we're only allowed to have 50 in a particular folder, and I didn't know that, because this is now what I'm about to do. I had to delete one so that I can get our 50th banner.
I believe that's celebratory in and of itself. The fact that we have reached, well, now that technically the 51st banner, but
yes.
But you know what? That's, people with disabilities don't necessarily do things. We do things a little bit more unorthodox. So let's celebrate the 51st banner, Maddie.
Absolutely.
So
if I could put
fireworks and whatnot, I'm sure we could. I'm sure there's got to be a way that we could do that.
Well, I have thought of a way, but I just haven't done it yet, because we can create these little videos that we can. So yeah, I'm gonna find some. We can put background music on, like we can have acoustic cinematic. So,
can we put the Man in Motion? St. Elmo's Fire. Do you have that?
Oh, I don't, but now I realize that they now have the ability to add music. So yeah.
So we're learning on the fly as we're doing this live, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a live, right? Anything can happen, and everything happens.
So let's, you know what, Maddie, for next week's live, let's get St. Elmo's Fire up and going, because it would have been perfect for what I'm about to say now. I had the opportunity to speak to Ion View Public School in Scarborough this morning, spreading Rick Hansen's message of kindness and allyship, stuff that I speak to myself when I'm a part of a group as well. Advocacy is key, and speaking to kids from K to 3 and 4 to 8 today was an experience that, I always cherish, because our youth are the fundamental foundation for our future. And try saying that 3 times fast. The fundamental, I can't even say it 1 time fast. The fundamental foundation for our future. So having that conversation about disability, and just being open and mindful about just having that conversation about disability inclusion, asking questions, any kind of questions that they were asking today. It was a great question, because this is how we make change, Maddie, and this is how important it is, and it sets the groundwork for the next generation. The work we do today sets the groundwork for the next generation. And to steal one of your lines, Maddie, once again, because I tend to do that, when you break through one barrier, subsequent barriers are more fundamentally easier to break through. So we have to continue to work through that together, and in the aspect and proponent of kindness with one another and allyship.
Yeah.
Speaking of kindness, I'm going to do a 180, and I had a lot of transit issues this weekend, Maddie.
All right. I need
Oh,
what I need to. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Um, I think I'm going to create a special background when we get to these themes that we keep coming back to. You know, like on night show, they have all these. It's we'll call it transportation accessibility time or something like that. Because
or
we have a segment every time that we talk about our transportation ills and woes.
every time we have a Maddie bomb, or what did you
Oh
call me? What did you
yes.
say mine was? What did you
Oh,
say mine was? A
yours
Tony something?
were
Tony Ticks
was it
or
there was a Tony something Tony. Okay, well here we're so now I had to create a new folder so I can do more banners because I go back and use these banners. I have to figure this out.
yeah, I know.
Tony
You gotta
tomes, yes, a Tony tome because a tome is a
yeah
is a collection of writings. Yes.
yeah a Tony Tome or a Maddie bomb. Every time we have one of those, there we go. Every time we have one of those, we should have like a graphic with like steam coming out of our head. Like that would be,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's and it's not that I'm trying to contradict kindness, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get people to understand our frustrations as
Yeah.
paratransit users under the ideology or the concept of one size fits all. And policy 101, one size does not fit all. And when you've met one person with a disability, you've met one person with a disability. So, I mean, it happened all weekend. So let me just start with Friday. I'm picked up at a location. I don't want to mention any names here. I'm picked up at a location with a. We're different, right? Okay, I
I
just got
just
the
I
teenage
just
mutant.
I just I just paraphrased what you said.
I just got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song playing in my head. Cowabunga,
Oh,
dudes.
great.
Anyway,
Dude, that's
uh,
actually what I was thinking. Like that.
see, we've done this for way too long.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay, so getting back to Friday, I'm picked up at my location. Initially, the driver went to the wrong door because somewhere through the through the conversation, I said one thing and they translated it into something else. So the driver was already late, and I'm going to get to that as well. So then the driver came back because I called him just in time, knowing. Thank you. So, oh, now you got a clean slate of more another folder. Okay, there we go.
Unlimited power.
So then he's late. Then the driver is late because he went to the wrong door. I make sure I got through in time to have the driver circle back. So that wasn't the issue, so to speak. So then the issue comes when I have my bundle buggy with me, and I won't say too much about it because I do have an ongoing human rights uh, thing happening. But when the the party that I am disputing against wants me to wheel my bundle buggy when I don't have handles on the back of my chair, while the driver wheels me up the ramp while I'm holding onto the bundle buggy, and I don't have handles on the back of the chair. B, there's already a passenger situated in front of me, so there's no place for me and the bundle buggy to go safely without me having to do some like matrix type maneuver to lift and shift the bundle buggy up and over my head because technically I'm supposed to be situated where the bundle buggy is because it's in front of me at the time. So that's problem B. Then, oh look, we don't have enough Q strains for the other person plus the bundle buggy to be secured properly. So we did it the correct way, the most common sense type of way. Get in the vehicle, get secured, secure the bundle buggy as best as possible. Then of Company B, yeah, there we go. He's the bundle buggy boogeyman of Company B. There, okay, there we go. You're on fire tonight, Maddie. Okay, so then
I have not had coffee today. I have not had coffee today, so I'm
That's
wired.
amazing.
Coffee
Uh,
calms me down, and today I'm like on edge. It's like I'm the poster child for ADHD because I need coffee to medicate.
I just finished the cup because I needed one myself. I can't confirm it was just
Yeah.
only coffee, but so then I get in, we get moving, and then we drop off the other passenger uh, in advance of me, even though I live literally 2 minutes from where my location was, which didn't make sense in and of itself because there's a concern about getting people within the window that's allotted versus the need to keep passengers on the vehicle for up to an hour, which technically they can do, right or wrong. We get to this person's location, and it's a nice area, but two things: there's no stop signs and there's no speed bumps. Buddy was thinking he's Mario Andretti going through this area. This close, Maddie. This close, and for those as well. Sorry, this close to making a sunroof, and I'm making a little small little indentation with my fingers to denote the fact that, huh? Uh,
As
so
opposed to Mario Kart.
Wheel Trans is a Toronto version of it. So that's why.
Okay. Oh, yes, your
That's
darts. I will. There we go. Hey, dart cart.
right.
Looks even
Right.
better. Dart cart. That's what you're playing every time you get in there.
We're playing Dark Card exactly because my gosh, this guy was going like Mario Andretti. Then after dropping off his passenger, and it was a long day. I'd worked till 4:30 and whatnot. I didn't get home till just before 7 from my 4:45 trip, just to a mall that was 2 minutes away from me. Um, then Buddy makes a wrong turn. Then that adds another 3-4 minutes to your ride, and after a long day, you just get frustrated. You just don't want to deal with those kind of shenanigans. Yeah, and apparently Google Maps don't work. Because everything's attached to Google Maps, but Google Maps doesn't work. I mean, they have their own map within the system that they use, but
Okay. Yeah, okay. So maps, GPS, Google. Have you ever been to Montreal?
I have.
Montreal is a town where there's constantly major infrastructure projects where they're completely redoing roads, building new super highways, and whole sections of road systems that are on Google Maps do not appear in real life because they've been moved around, temporary things, and you can see that things are being built in the area where they're talking about. You cannot trust Google Maps in Montreal. You just cannot, because there is so much constant change and churn. And for somebody like me who is very visual and very relies upon maps and things, it was a complete. It's been complete nightmare. Now I don't drive anymore, so it's me just understanding their transit system when I go there. But Montreal is I love Montreal, but it was for a driver who needs systems to work and be like they are written and drawn. It's a challenge. So go on with your
Oh,
story.
absolutely.
Go on with your
I mean,
go
I
on
was
with your
there.
story.
No, no, no. I was in Montreal probably over 20 years ago. Last time I was there.
Very accessible.
So,
I've been there a few times. It's very accessible, way more accessible than Toronto and Ottawa for the most part. It's yeah, I really enjoyed it. Parks that you can just get right to the little lakes on a path, regardless of your mobility issues. It's a path that you can get as close to nature as anybody else. It was amazing. It was just
in the
a
infrastructure,
park,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, just love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The
Home
infrastructure is
though,
nice. The hotel rooms, not so much.
it depends.
But that's
Depends
kind
where you
of
go. Yeah, it's
that
everywhere.
depends.
Yeah.
That's an everywhere thing. That's
We
a good
meet
story
minimum
for.
standards. We offer minimum. We meet the minimum standards of hospitality and accessibility. We do.
I have never heard your voice go that high.
Oh, I can do anything.
I
Yeah.
I can
So you
do
haven't heard
anything better than you.
I can do anything. And sing high too.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I
I
can. Yes, I can.
can. Oh, I think we're already like
Yes, I
25
can.
minutes
Yes,
into.
I can.
We're
Yes,
going off
I
the
can. Thank you.
We are so going off the rails, and it's only 25 minutes into the live. Wow. Happy Monday, everybody. Um, so yeah, I mean the story about hotel rooms is another story. I mean that's a story for another live. I mean, let's just say one thing. Sometimes you need a catapult to get on the bed.
The slingshot from hell.
Basically, I'm going to leave it there. Let your minds wander, guys. But yeah, just getting back to the whole idea of transit. That was only Friday that I was telling you about. Then Saturday rolled along, and that was a very very busy day for me. I had 8 trips that whole day. It ended up being 8 trips all told. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then just making sure that people came to the right doors, and then designating doors for people with disabilities without having our insight and our input is something that really does need to change. There's this whole concept and idea of, well, you know what, we'll just make it easier for us, as those who are providing the service, rather than listening to those who use the service and, to get equal treatment of getting the doors that work best for us. Now, I'm fully understanding of the fact that if there's some sort of a construction going on in a particular set of doors, then sure. But if doors are designated with a number and are designated under your standards or minimum standards of safely deploying, loading and offloading a person who uses a mobility device, then what the heck is the difference which doors that person wants to go off to? That's another story. I'm not going to get into Sunday, Maddie, because this raw live and rant can go on for a long time, my friend.
We've talked about this before.
Absolutely.
How many times the accessible entrance isn't the front entrance; it's a side or the back,
Yeah.
and we have to go through a bunch of different stuff to be able to get in, instead of making the front doors be accessible, or really all doors.
Yeah,
but
exactly, and that's what I was alluding to.
I know
in the mall area.
It
Yeah.
Yes, I was listening to I'm just extrapolating what I'm hearing, and just thinking.
And that concludes our live for Monday. And this concludes our live for Monday, January 23rd. Thanks for listening. No, I'm kidding, guys.
After
like I
these
said, guys,
messages, we'll be right back. Insert sponsor here.
That's what we need. We need a sponsor. So, guys, reach out to us at above and beyond the podcast at gmail.com. If you guys are interested in sponsoring our podcast, our lives and our podcast, that would be great. Reach out to us individually at Matt J. Dever, at Anthony_Festina on Twitter. Sponsorship, we do. And we will take that.
We'll wear it proudly.
Absolutely.
Right, good on you. .ca.
That's right. Right. Good on you.ca. I think you have that banner.
I do. I have that. It's one of our first banners.
One of our first. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sherry Caldwell. Yeah, shout out to Sherry Caldwell. Good on you.ca. Get your swag now. Support the mission of accessibility and inclusion all across Ontario. Yep. And Maddie, I also got a call this afternoon from, I'm going to say, a local TV company. not Cable 14 that that I work with on with the show, but wanted a comment on the Liberals being in town here in Hamilton and what it looks like. So I explicitly said we need more representation and leadership from the disabled community to help actually see the changes that fundamentally need to be made and need to be made now, not yesterday.
Mhm.
The longer we wait, the harder it's going to become to make these changes.
Yeah.
So now more than ever, we need to make those changes, and we need to, the solutions are there. You know, as people with disabilities, we get it, we understand, we know what the solutions are. So
Yeah, if I had one thing to say to the Liberal cabinet that's meeting in Hamilton, I would say CDB in 23. If we need something now, get us something now. That's the Canadian Disability Benefit. Get us something now, and make the a permanent thing the year after, whatever. But it's amazing how we spent 6 weeks to get the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. 6 weeks, $2,000 a month. Very simple, very quick. Money was in the hands. Money went into banks in 6 weeks from the first time it was talked about. And we've been at the CDB now for it's been talked about for 3 years. It's been it's now actively been a year since it was introduced again. This is the year we really can't wait another month. Really, inflation is hitting us hard. It's hitting us first, and the provinces are not doing what they are constitutionally required to do in supporting us. You know, so the Canada Disability Benefit will be a huge assistance to us, those of us that can survive till then. And it's really, I just know so many people, more and more people with disability every day, just really struggling. I know my own case. I look at I did online shopping with Walmart in July, and last month in December, I decided to just like redo that, just repeat that order. It's 25% more. I tried to repeat it again this month. It's 10% more than it was a month and a half ago. Like the cost of food is a much higher inflation rate than everything else, and we are struggling. And so, yeah, I'm if we had the opportunity to say anything, that's the number one thing. There's many things that we need changed. There's many things we need work on, but that's one that can be immediate, that can be helpful, that can save the lives of many of us.
and not only that, Maddie, and kudos to you for mentioning that, but it also extends to eating healthy,
Yeah,
eating healthier. We're being malnourished by the
yeah,
uh, the fact that food is healthy food is just so much more expensive.
yeah.
We're subsequently, if not already there, heading into a recession, and it's just
Stop talking about my hairline.
aha. Okay. Well, hey,
It's a
mine's in
this
a
is a
recession
weird
too.
Monday. This is a
This is a
weird Monday.
weird guy, Yeah, but you know what?
It
And then
happens.
likewise, Maddie. We're
Yeah,
I guess mine would be in a recession too. So it's it's
that's why I'm just gonna
horrible.
keep going at it long.
I like the flow.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's just people are struggling.
yeah,
People are it's hard for people to survive, and no DSP. I'm not gonna get you started, Maddie, on no DSP. But ODSP is a story in and of itself that needs to change as well. Like with all these changes to he's looking for his banner. Uh, so oh, aha! Or he's created a new one. He's got the space now to do it. So he's gonna do that. Oh wow! Oh guys, again, we would love for you guys to sponsor our podcast. Feel free to reach out to us at above beyond the podcast at gmail.com. Uh, and guys, like we just really we're just two people here trying to get that message out, about accessibility and about inclusion. I'm gonna do something here, Maddie. So take the reins for a second and just do what you
All right.
do. And
Well, since you brought up the ODSP, there I want to shout out to a lot of the ODSP workers that are trying desperately to find ways of supporting people in a system that, right from the second it starts, is failing them. And um, there are some that are burnt out and they're just clocking in the time there, but there are others that I know, like my workers have been great at trying to find any of the ways that they can support the people on it. And like it's just a rough job, and I know there's a lot of churns. When we experienced okay, so which worker do we have this month? It's because they go through burnout, just like any service industry person right now, especially in the midst of the pandemic, especially with all the inflation stuff. But people that are working with us, that are trying to help us, are really having a hard time. I mean, we're experiencing really rough time. The system sucks. The system is failing us, and it doesn't meet any of our needs in in any way possible. Everything is, you know, at the minimum possible for us, and there's
the
so much that
system
we
is
need to change. There's so much. Yeah, the system is what?
the system is a
A mess.
skeleton.
Yeah,
It's a mess, but it's also a skeleton. It's bare
yeah,
bones. And
yeah,
I'll go back to what you said earlier, Maddie. Ask us what we need, meet our needs rather than a minimum standard of
yeah,
meet our needs, and
yeah,
let us be in control of the needs that
yeah.
we want. We often have this fight with ODSP, like PSW organizations, because they're trying to make it work for everybody, and I totally get that. I totally am respectful of that, but there has to be a better system in place uh, to make it work for everybody. Um, so, and it's just like, listen to us. We have a voice. Put people with disabilities in the positions of leadership and position of being able to guide. Don't don't patronize us. Get us to the table and talk, Maddie. Like you said, let's have that talk. Let's not be at the table because certain individuals are obligated to be at the table, and then once they clock out after a meeting is over, then what's all that's discussed at the table becomes forgotten or lost in translation. We can't have that. We
Yeah.
actually need fruitful, heart-centered, fruitful discussions that actually have a plan in place, have a solution in mind, have a process that has checkpoints and benchmarks along the
Mhm.
way to getting to that solution, so that we can prosper. It's and again, Maddie, I'm going to steal one of your quotes again. It's not only about survival but thrival.
Yep.
And when there's thrival with people with disabilities, there's thrival for the community at large. I go back to having the conversation with those kids today with the Rick Hansen Foundation. and I couldn't believe how smart and how bright these kids were. And and then
I'm
just the questions that they asked, it was just incredible.
it's the Gen Z generation is going to save us. I hope.
Yeah, yeah, and
Because
it gets to the
they
point.
do not want solutions in the future. They want things now, and it's not an entitled now. It's a why isn't the world better now when we know what we need to do? We just got to do it. Not talk about problems. We got to talk about solutions.
Yep, we need to talk exactly, and we need to invest, not associate it with a cost. We no more. We need transparency. We need accountability, and we need ownership towards these solutions. And so it is the power of allyship. And Maddie, I'm pretty sure you have a banner for allyship as well.
Oh, I
So
do.
it's no, I know you do. It's the power of allyship. That's one of the conversations we had with the kids today. Allyship and kindness and supporting people. When you support one another, the world at large wins because you're kind. You're being an ally. You're showing respect. You're showing dignity. You're showing honesty to everybody else, and that's all we really ask for. Oh, are you getting the come on, Alec? Come on, Maddie.
Well, I don't see one. By the way, we're going to call our while I'm here, we're going to call our transportation transit issue session. We're going to call it the accessibles segment.
Yeah, welcome to Accessible. We probably will have one on every single live
Yeah,
because that's just
we have we except one last week, I believe, which we turning into a podcast. Yeah, we and we talk about from survival to thrival. We talk about. Okay, there's been some really funny ones. Yes, but I'm not going to put them all up. But yes.
Hashtag Maddie bombs.
Oh my God, yeah. See, this is
Hashtag Maddie bombs.
This
is Bruce Banner.
This is the Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
I don't have one in allyship. I don't understand.
I thought you did.
Well, I thought I did too. I've been looking for it. We have a lot of stuff about election, a lot of stuff about schools. No, I love this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is today. This is our show today. It's out to launch.
Yeah, well, Maddie, you're not, and I consider you as well as I like role model, ROLL model. I know you have that banner, so let's put that one back up. We are, role models together, and it's been an honor to get to know you and to work with you. And I don't want them to find that on social media because that might be something a heck of a lot different.
Yeah, fixed it. Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Maddie, this has been another fantastic live with you for Monday, January 23rd. We'll be back on January 30th with you for another live. Hopefully, the world is calm for us this week for our live next week. But yeah, we go off the cuff and we ain't afraid to speak the truth. So I think that's very important that that the truth actually be heard and not be covered in some sort of fluff or projected type of reality when we speak the reality at large. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. Catch us at Above and Beyond the Pod on Facebook. Send us an email at above and beyond the podcast at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Maddie's at Matt J. Dever on Twitter. And I'm at Anthony_Frazina on Twitter. At Above Beyond for you is the show Twitter as well. So we are Mondays live typically at 5 p.m. Today was a little bit. We had to call an audible.
And that's why this is like this. The later we go, the more Maddy I get.
Okay, right? So guys, we're gonna really try to stick to our 5. We're gonna really try to stick to our 5 p.m. guys, because the reason why, I'll be fully transparent, guys. I was on transit coming back, and things ended up happening a little bit later. If I didn't have transit at particular times that was showing up late, then we could have maybe had this a little bit sooner. But it is what it is until the transit system gets fixed. We have to
until the end of eternity.
Until the transit gets fixed. This is what we have to deal with. But I will say
all
this,
of a sudden,
Maddy.
this turned into a fantasy show.
I will say this, Maddy. Before we popped on our live, I did send out a message, and I did tweet you, I sent a Facebook message that I tagged you on about some breaking news.
Oh.
So I would feel remiss if I didn't share this with everybody.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
drum roll, please.
We need to put that. We need to get that audio. Oh, there we go. Friends, it is my pleasure to announce to everybody here today, once again, yours truly is officially a Ticats season ticket holder for 2023. Thank you very much. Oski, let's go Ticats. Oh, that was Maddy doing a round of applause.
That's right. Yes.
So, I am officially a Ticats season ticket holder. Thanks to the support of the community as well, and the support of the Ticats, we were able to make this work again. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to being Ticats Grey Cup champions 2023. We need that banner.
It all depends on how Ottawa does.
So I am officially.
If Ottawa makes the playoffs, I'd go for Ottawa. If they don't make the playoffs, then maybe I'll go to the team that my dad got drafted by. So yeah.
Who was that?
My dad, John Dever. He never played. He got injured, but my dad was drafted by the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Perfect.
My dad was
So he, So let's hope for the good in the future for the CFL season, and if the Ottawa Red Blacks and the Ticats, Hamilton Tiger Cats play each other, this could be an interesting live. That could be an interesting live.
Yep.
I might have to come to Ottawa, and I know where I could stay when I go to Ottawa now. I'm staying at Maddy's place. So, guys, thanks again for joining us. I'm Anthony Frazina. That's Maddy Dever. We'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Ta-ta.